Greetings, my friends. Please consider supporting me in my war to save pop culture by subscribing to my channel and possibly even becoming a channel member for exclusive videos, access to Doomcock emojis, and more. And if you like this video in particular, please consider using the new Super Thanks feature and putting a tip in the tip jar located next to the like buttons down at the bottom of the video. Thank you for watching, and now, on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dr. Van Doomcock, broadcasting from my base at the center of the Earth, and apparently I have come under attack in the latest episode of She-Hulk. Many have been shooting me messages telling me that, hey, they just came after you on She-Hulk, and let me tell you, if this is indeed the case, and it certainly seems plausible that this is what happened, it is deeply offensive, and I am angry, but in no way surprised. You know, there are a lot of great YouTube channels out there, and a number of them are bigger than mine in terms of subscribers, but I can tell you this is but the latest proof that my channel has an impact on Hollywood far greater than the size of my channel would suggest, and it seems clear that Doomcock lives rent-free in the heads of the Hollywood establishment. Now, I was working on a video about House of the Dragon earlier in the day when I started getting all these messages on social media claiming that She-Hulk had basically created a villain meant to throw shade on me. I first heard from my friend Sky Warrior, who told me that the scene at the end of She-Hulk episode 9 was taking a shot at me. Then I got a DM from the excellent news site Bounding Into Comics saying simply, "You made it into She-Hulk." The scene in question was posted, I was able to see it for myself, and so I've decided to make a video addressing this alleged attack on me by She-Hulk and, by extension, Disney.
I feel terribly offended and slighted. Surely I am a far greater villain than you are, Doomcock, and yet what? No tribute to me?
You're a greater villain, Skull of Calderon? Need I remind you I chopped off your head and stuck your skull in a bowl of entropy? Need I remind you that I keep you on my shelf like a trophy, albeit a trophy with no antlers?
Well, when you put it like that, it sounds bad. But let me tell you, before you chopped my head off, I was twice the villain you are today. And what about me? What am I, chopped liver? I'm an eldritch god hell-bent on destroying your entire universe just for laughs. And what? I'm not worthy of slandering? I'm hurt and confused, Doomcock.
Well, they don't know you like I know you, Harvey. But before you complain about wishing it was you they took a shot at, let's look at what they actually did. Let's look at a tweet that lays the whole thing out rather nicely. Colonel Otaku Gatekeeper tweeted, "Apparently Doomcock is now the villain in She-Hulk. It can't be a coincidence that the mask and voice of the intelligentsia looks and sound exactly like Doomcock. In all seriousness, this reeks of desperation." Unquote. And then find attached the clip in question. And here's how it goes. Two people wearing masks very evocative of mine appear, saying this is the truth presented by intelligentsia. She-Hulk does not deserve your attention. She does not deserve your praise. She does not deserve the power she stole from the Hulk. And then this organization, intelligentsia, goes on to flash personal posts and a hidden sex tape, all in an attempt to shame She-Hulk. She completely loses her shit, smashes the big screen TV set, blasts through a wall in pursuit of a masked figure in the audience. It's just a huge debacle, and there are many people contacting me now stating their belief that She-Hulk deliberately took a shot at Doomcock. They point out a number of things. They state that the mask looks very similar to mine. They point out that the voice is very similar as well. Essentially, this scene gave a lot of people the impression that yes, She-Hulk was taking a shot at me, trying to make out that I would do the sorts of things that intelligentsia is doing in this video, namely posting a hidden camera sex tape of She-Hulk.
Well, you know, if a lot of people are spontaneously seeing this as a shot on you, Doomcock, that perception is likely exactly what Disney intended. And yet, if this is an attack on you, Doomcock, they are falsely ascribing to you things you have not done and would never do, which seems rather petty when you get right down to it.
It is petty, Skull of Calderon. Look, She-Hulk took a shot at fans who were critics in earlier episodes, quoting people on screen saying, "Hey, we don't mind female superheroes, but don't turn our superheroes into women. Go ahead and make your own." They presented that as some kind of ignorant statement, trying to cast the commentator in a bad light. But honestly, I didn't take it as an insult. I nodded and said, "Exactly. I'm glad you're hearing us." Although that statement did not apply to She-Hulk, since she's a legacy character in her own right, and a popular one to boot, so it was kind of a straw man argument that they were throwing up there. Nevertheless, let them have their fun, taking shots at fans expressing legitimate complaints about how Marvel and Disney are vandalizing pop culture, but now they've moved into a direction that is not fair, not honest, and completely inaccurate. Essentially, if this is intended to be a shot at me, and I think there's a pretty good chance this is the case, it's a fake take on Doomcock, and that's what I find offensive. Let's take a look at what this is. She-Hulk is at some kind of big award gala, all decked out and glamorous. Suddenly, this intelligentsia hacks into the feed and denounces She-Hulk. Let's break down what this masked character says. "She-Hulk does not deserve your attention." Well, in actual fact, I gave She-Hulk more than a fair shake and a decent amount of attention. Anyone who watched my video reviews of She-Hulk, particularly those reviews I gave She-Hulk along with my panel of pop culture pundits on Pop Culture Breakdown, I was pretty mild in comparison to a lot of other reviewers. I expressed my admiration for Tatiana Maslany's acting skill. I said I like She-Hulk the character in the comics. I accept her as a legitimate character in her own right since she pre-existed as a female character. I did criticize the woke anti-male sentiments that were sprinkled sporadically throughout the show. That's true of most Disney shows, and in the end, I felt the biggest problem with She-Hulk was that it is neither exciting enough to be a superhero show in its own right, nor is it nearly funny enough to be a comedy. Add some really annoying and disgusting woke shots at men in general and at the Hulk specifically in these episodes, and you have something that isn't terribly compelling. Even so, I never said I hated it. I said it's much better than Rings of Power, Book of Boba Fett, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, all of which are unwatchable. Faint praise, yes, but hardly a fire and brimstone denunciation of She-Hulk. And yet, they then go on to have this character say, in the video, she does not deserve the power she stole from the Hulk. Again, that's not anything I ever said. In the comics, Jessica also derives her powers from her cousin Bruce Banner, and that's fine. It's handled much better in the comics, but that's a relatively minor quibble here. Again, if they're taking a shot at me with this, they're ascribing to me things I never said. But next comes the really despicable part. At this point in the video, intelligentsia calls She-Hulk a very derogatory name for a sexually active woman, and then proceeds to post a hidden sex video of She-Hulk, prompting her to freak out and attack the screen, triggering her into a rampage. Well, this part disgusted me. This part is offensive. Anyone who knows me and knows my channel knows that I do not report on tabloid-style scandals targeted against actors personally. I would never take such a cheap personal shot at anyone in Hollywood. Sex scandals, criminal scandals, unless they relate directly to the corruption of pop culture by vandals and woke wankers, I leave that sort of sleazy crap to the tabloids. My fight is to stop these woke wankers from attacking and perverting our pop culture, twisting our myths and legends like Captain Kirk, Luke Skywalker, Doctor Who, Batman, and others into something they never were, all to score virtue signaling points while destroying Western culture, a culture they abhor. Doomcock strives to call out these abuses, to repudiate and attack the desecration of the very stories that should be handed down from generation to generation as part of the continuity of civilization. My motivation is a love of these classic stories and movies which mean a lot more to us than merely entertainment. Like in the Star Trek Next Generation show Darmok, these stories are shorthand for our traditions and values, and just as past civilizations were preserved by passing down stories important to the tribe from parents to children as part of their oral tradition, the glue that keeps them together from generation to generation, so too do these stories provide a continuity between generations. And that's why these SJWs are attacking and perverting them, because they hate our civilization and want to do everything they can to derail it. So there you have it, my friends. In simply speaking out and doing my best to defend the literature and myths of the recent past, Doomcock has become a target for those in Hollywood. And this means one thing, my friends. It means we are winning. If Doomcock bothers them this much, it means we finally have their attention. Please subscribe to my channel and even join my channel membership if you can. Help me to keep living in their heads rent-free. As for this insult, I brush it off. I survived the horror of watching Star Trek Discovery intact. Ha! Compared to that, this is just a walk in the park. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Hey guys, Harvey Cthulhu here. Doomcock is posting more and more of his videos on my channel, so please subscribe to my channel and like it if you want to be sure and catch all of Doomcock's videos. YouTube doesn't do a very good job of letting people know that they're here. If you subscribe, you won't miss out. Thank you for your support.